Hey YouTube, this is Zapzer7 here, and I'm going to be continuing my videos on my top 12 cards of 2010. My pick for number 6 is Royal Tribute. If any card in the Gravekeeper deck can be called overpowered or even broken, this would be it. Since the Gravekeeper deck runs very few monsters, along with 2 or maybe even 3 Gravekeeper Steel, the card very rarely affects the actual Gravekeeper player. This card has potential to be a +4 or 5, which is basically game winning. Even if you break even, or even +1 or 2, you still get to see your opponent's entire hand, which is very useful by itself, since it enables you to predict your opponent's future plays. Although the Gravekeeper deck itself has very good synergy, the most feared card in the matchup is definitely Royal Tribute. My pick for number 5 is Dandelion. This card is the backbone of all the plant decks and some of the monarch decks. Quickdraw Dandy Warrior show the strength that this card had. The play of discarding Dandy off of Quickdraw Synchron, then looping Drill Warrior and Dandelion made the deck very deadly. All the combos with Lonefire Blossom and Debris Dragon into Black Rose made the card very versatile, and it could generate advantage very easily. Dandelion even had a natural synergy with Titanium. Could be comboed with Glow Up Ball to get Formula Synchron, and then removed for Spore's effect. All of these things made this card very good. My pick for number 4 is Rescue Cat. Over the years, this card has just been getting better and better until it finally became so powerful that they finally had to ban it. This card made the X-Saber deck one of the best decks of the format, since playing Rescue Cat under a Cold Wave, Giant Trunade, or Heavy Storm could be a potential +4 with all the +1s that one could get from Dark Soul, Airbellum, and a +3 potentially from Hunline. The entire deck focused on getting this card out, which was why 2 Gold Sarks were usually made just for the purpose of searching out Rescue Cat. Because of the power this one card had over the duel, it made it very ban-worthy. This deck was also used in some of the Gladiator Beast builds, but its main role in the format was making X-Sabers very powerful. My choice for number 3 is Solemn Warning. This card is the new staple trap that is being run in 2s in almost every deck. The life point cost isn't really that much when this card can single-handedly stop many of your opponent's key plays, such as Synchro Summoning, Summoning JD, or any other good card. This deck effectively killed Gladiator Beast and Herald of Perfection as competitive decks. There really isn't no reason to run at least 2 copies of this card if you can get your hands on them. In next format, I would definitely recommend maining 3 of them, just because 6 Samurais are going to be amazing. My choice for number 2 was Rodent Totem. This card was the key card in the amazing Frog OTK deck, and personally I believe that this card should have been hit rather than Substitute, just because this was the actual card that enabled the OTK. Frog OTK is probably the best and most consistent OTK deck that Advanced format has had in quite a few years, and it only took 3 cards to initiate, those being Substitute, Swap Frog, and Mass Driver. But Rodent Totem was the card that actually created the loop. Rodent Totem provided the loop down which Mass Driver could deal 8,000 damage, since with 20 frogs in grave meant that you could revive Rodent Totem 20 times, and 20 times the 400 damage for each sacrifice a Mass Driver dealt meant 8,000 damage. This deck was easily this deck made the format pretty bad, just because it was so easy to win with such a cheap deck. Your opponent didn't even have a turn sometimes, since it was not only an OTK but also a first turn kill. My choice for number 1, and I don't think anyone is really surprised that this card is number 1, is Pod Duality. Pod Duality is one of the best staple spell cards we have gotten in a long time. This card is definitely worth its price tag because of the impact this card has had on the game. This card adds consistency to almost every deck, since the ability to see the next 3 cards and then choose the best one is not an overrated ability at all. And the so-called drawbacks of only activating the card once per turn and not being able to special summon isn't really drawback at all, since the decks that can effectively utilize Pot of Duality are not hindered in the least by this. You should definitely run this card as many copies as you can possibly afford. And if Konami keeps on making good cards such as these, then the future of this game is in very, very good shape. Well, that's all. I hope you enjoyed my top 12. Please don't forget to subscribe to be entered into my contests. Until next time, this is Zapzer7.